Louisiana beer reviews, Oppigard's well-hopped lager. Okay, Swedish farmhouse they're showing on the picture, but it's not a farmhouse ale. They're just showing that. Oppigard's is a company, a little tiny brewery that is in Hedemora, Sweden, the Kingdom of Sweden, and it was established a long time ago in the 1600s as a little farm, and later they started brewing. I could never figure out when they started brewing. Sorry about that. The guy's fooling around with a big tractor over there next door, trying to get that yard straight. I have to contend with that. They make a whole line of craft beers as part of, they say, the Scandinavian Craft Brewers Guild. I bought this at Dornax, who's been importing lots of new European beer brands. That is extremely bubbly, and you can see the smoke already in this 16.9 ounce bottle. 5% alcohol, 36 international bitterness units. It's brewed occasionally, so it's on a rotating basis. They're not even showing it on their website right now. Pilsner, Carapils, Carahel malts. Northern Brewers and Saz hops. Gets a very good score on Beer Advocate. And Rapier is only saying 52 out of 100, but then get this, 93 out of 100 for the style. So once again, they don't like it because they don't like the style. All that smoke, all that vapor. So, you know, there's a problem there because they're saying a beer's bad because they personally don't like a style. I don't really like convertibles. I wouldn't want to own a convertible vehicle, but I'm not going to sit here and say, well, this convertible's bad because I don't like convertibles. Now, it's very bright out here at 9:30. I was waiting for that to stop, but it ain't going to stop all day, I guess. So that is an orange beer. Looks like an IPA. It's so bubbly. It's unfiltered. There is, you know, you could say trash, but there's a grit all throughout here, just roiling about, brown grit, kind of a thin white head. All right, the noise isn't too bad. It could get a lot worse if you start messing with that concrete. The smell is old, aged, a little citrusy, pungent, and unfiltered. Well, this is sort of like an old style, centuries old lager, right? Before they came out with the bright, light, highly filtered Pilsners in the 1840s, okay? So this is the kind of thing that didn't really appeal to the American consumer. Smells okay though, really. The taste. Same thing. It's sort of rough, like, you know, grain, the barley malts, right? A little citrus, a little. Yeast, some mild, slightly grassy hops at that end of it, you know, the back end of it. It's like a dirty flavor in the sense that it's unfiltered, right? So you're getting all the gritty grain. The mouth feels medium, and the finish is, there goes my notes, semi-dry, I guess. It's somewhat easy drinking, and it's a bit of a mouthful. It's a little chewy. So this would be an interesting thing to compare with Budweiser, right? Like Budweiser's that quintessential, crisp, clean, refreshing, highly filtered, beechwood aged, double fermented rice adjunct lager, right? 5%. And this is unfiltered, rough, not particularly crisp, not as refreshing. But they're both lagers, so goodness. So they share some similarities in flavor, but the similarities are minimal. They're a lot different. This would be, a lot of people might think this is an ale, okay? But it is a lager. It's well hopped, but it's not hoppy. I would say 36 IBU. Probably more than a batch 19. So I think it falls in between something like a batch 19, which is an old style Coors lager, you know, like a recreation of the Coors Gold beer from the early 1900s. And so yeah, I think, oh man, this sediment is caked. So, you know, you got your highly filtered, let's say Coors Banquet 5%. Then you have your more old style batch 19, the old Coors Gold beer. And then you have this. And you can see how cloudy it gets with that. And I think I can loosen more sediment later when this calms down. So it's an interesting progression from the unclean to the clean. And some people would say, yeah, you mean from the really good to the not so good. Depends how you look at it. Some people prefer the cleaner beers. And I'm not saying one is better than the other, you notice. I'm just saying they're different. Coors Banquet, batch 19, than the Oppigards. So if you're looking for an old world type beer, there goes a cloud. And with a more rustic, that's a good description, rustic, from the farmlands of Sweden type lager beer, this could be one to check out. I'd like to try some of their ales, their IPAs. They make a whole line of beers over there at that farmstead. So I feel compelled to give it an A, even though it's a little bit of a rough go. It's interesting. I like these bold, kind of difficult to deal with flavors. So an A beer, if you see it, buy it and try it, and you may or may not like it. And it's also, I think, $3.99 for one bottle. So anyway, and y'all come on down to Baton Rouge and go see a Southern University Jaguars baseball game.